Hello, everybody. We do
Hello.
it together. Ready?
Hello, everybody. Oh, see? All right.
It's Sarah from NHC CBT. I'm here with Sam Sobel.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
Sam is one of our supervisors and also is, of course, a licensed clinician, a licensed licensed independent clinical social worker.
Yes.
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Licensed independent clinical social worker.
And if you got it slightly different, that would have been just as great because it's all good.
She's so accepting. So I'm really happy to introduce Sam to you today. Sam just has amazing energy. You have amazing energy and so much to give. And I'm just incredibly grateful that Sam is joining us to do some work. So Sam, you have your own practice in Dover.
Yes.
Full time. And then, and you can find Sam there on Psychology Today. But Sam also is with us part time, and I believe starting with Thursdays,
Yes.
sometime on Thursdays. And then, because of your level of knowledge and experience and how long you've been licensed, are also able to supervise some of our kind of younger clinicians, or I wouldn't say younger, but maybe junior in the field.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so that's really wonderful. So some of your clinician may be Sam, or your clinician may be supervised by Sam. So it's really great for us to have this opportunity to get to know you a little bit and to share you with everyone. So I think that everyone will be excited to hear about the work that you do. So would you like to speak for a moment about kind of who you work with and the work that you really just are passionate about?
Well, I have to say, first of all, if I have a lot of energy, it's because it's easy to have energy when you love what you do. And it's a good. While if it was in my power, I would wave a magic wand and all of the ills, including mental health challenges of the world, would go away. I really don't know what I'd be doing with my life, um, because it's what we do is a calling, and you know it when you feel it. And so let's see. So I'm talking to a camera, not a person. So I'm gonna do the best job I can. I'm gonna do the best job I can to pretend that I'm talking to you and not a camera.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you. Acting is not in my trade.
You're very genuine.
I can't be anything else other than whatever this is. So what you see is what you get.
Just be in the moment. It is what it is.
Yeah, totally. And so I work with adults. Age 18 and over. And, I've been very lucky and fortunate. I've had wonderful training, wonderful experiences in the field. I got a large swath of my experience in community mental health. So that was great, from, working with different challenges, personality disorders, challenges with psychotic symptoms, anxiety, depression, and other challenges as well.
Right.
Also diagnostic skills. That includes being an intake clinician. At the end of my 6.5-year tenure, the last year and a half, I did strictly intake. So I learned all about how to use the DSM and how do you assess and diagnose, and I rounded out those skills as well. So, if I didn't do all that, frankly, I wouldn't feel comfortable supervising folks. I would imagine most people would not feel comfortable being in that position if they didn't have that skill set first.
Right.
So being in community mental health, I got the opportunity to wear a bunch of different hats. And I was thankful to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So hopefully I can experientially pay this stuff forward, not only in my work with clients, possibly with you, but also in a supervisory role as well, because I've had amazing teachers too. So.
I think that's great. Thank you for summarizing some of your experience and where that's come from, because I think that, similar to myself, we're similar in age. We're in our early 30s, but which makes us a little bit of spring chickens in the mental health field. And also, I would be so bold as to say we look youthful. And so I think sometimes when people see us, they might think, what kind of experience does Sam have and does Sarah have? Because we're also both supervisors, and I know that I think between us, we both have at least a decade of experience in this field in human services and doing things like direct service work, and all of that. So I think it's really amazing for people to hear what you've been up to and how you've come to this place in your life, and just to demonstrate where all of these amazing competencies you have come from. And I also love that you're talking about the diagnoses, because here's something that I see a lot. And I think this calls to people that Sam can serve really well, is people who have a lot of symptoms that overlap in presenting as different things. So, for example, someone with a lot of anxiety, but also who's had some trauma and who maybe has compulsive or repetitive behaviors and doesn't get along well with others, has trouble socially. How many diagnoses could that person have, right? They may have in their life been labeled with 3 to 7 different things. And I think one of the strengths that Sam brings is in just sort of what I call cleaning that up and being able to sit down with you and say, where does this all come from? What's the unifying thread? And how can we sort of unpathologize you to a certain extent?
Absolutely.
And just
That's
say,
huge.
like, it makes sense that you would feel this way and act this way, and here's where the main thing we think it's coming from. So you don't have this just like jumbled alphabet soup, and every doctor you go to calls you something different, and you don't even know anymore. Just coming to see Sam and kind of streamline it, clean it up, and be able to have a focus, so that instead of trying to just always get a grip on what to even call what's going on, you can start to dig in your feet and make steps forward.
I really love how you presented that, because I believe that we're all our own special rubber band balls, essentially, of different challenges. We all have a rightful constellation of challenge. We all have a rightful constellation of vulnerabilities. That's just part of the human experience. There's no circumventing that. There's no escaping that. If the only constant is change, how can we make that work for us? This is kind of my speed, at least part of it. And so, I really appreciate you bringing that up, because there are typically a couple of moving influencers or participants in why we have the challenges we have. And if there's a way to simplify that and to get a further understanding of that, and if I can help you with that, that is something I feel certainly confident at this juncture in my tutelage, as well as my own skill work, that's something I can offer folks. That's part of why I mentioned specifically that intake piece, because it did help me really sharpen the ability to make more sense of that rubber band ball and what's that about, right? Like you said, what is driving that? And we can kind of start from the root and start there, and then move forward.
And I love that rubber band metaphor, like with the layers. And I also I use the metaphor a lot of like a puzzle, like you're a beautiful puzzle. Because I'll have clients too who, because of my neuroscience background and developmental background and all of that, I'll have clients who will say to me, I feel like this is so complicated, and do you feel overwhelmed, Sarah? And I say, I'm intrigued. You're a beautiful puzzle. Like, look at all these pieces we can put together to really just make your picture. And so, right?
Yeah,
so it's
totally.
so exciting to us, I think. I think that's something that we have in common, Sam and I, is that it's so exciting to be able to help you figure it out. And then to be able to do something real about it. So,
totally.
Sam, I'm familiar with some of the diagnoses that you like to work with, and we briefly mentioned it, and also some of the modalities you use. Would you mind kind of summarizing for people like what you see your theoretical orientation as, and who you would be like, call me if you want this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I find that I do work very well with people who have the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. That is, at this point, a specialty of mine. I also, in terms of where I come from diagnostically, definitely a CBT background, a DBT background. I do utilize motivational interviewing. I do utilize some other colorings of other interventions, modalities, but the core that I'm practicing from is CBT, and my other core modality is DBT. Those are the two things I've had a lot of group supervision in the past.
Mhm.
Have really steeped myself in knowledge in those areas, and so when I'm pinning down and identifying the interventions I'm delivering to individuals, I'm able to couch that in that language so that it's evidence-based and there's actual proof in research that what we're doing while exercising our beautiful right brains and our amazing ability to be creative, it's also being rooted in something that is substantiated, that is
Right.
real, and not fabricated, that this really does work and there is a science to what we do. And it's combining those two amazing abilities to be creative and to paint with words and paint with emotion, for example, and also couch that in that place where it has some real evidence-based backing.
That's great. So I think if I was to summarize, if you or a loved one is an adult, 18 or older, looking for one-on-one services, and you maybe feel a little overwhelmed by trying to understand everything that's been going on, and anyone's ever talked to you about borderline personality or very much related to that trauma, if you feel like you could use some help with motivation and staying on track, and if you feel that you want evidence-based, goal-oriented work that takes into account who you are as an individual, this guy. I found him for you.
Oh,
you're welcome.
I'm gonna blush a little. Don't make me blush.
And so Sam, is there anything else that we've left out so far that you feel like is important for people to know, or do you feel like we've really hit at the core of that first message you want people to hear about the work that you do?
I appreciate that question a lot. What I want you, the listener, to know is that you are a good person, deserving of good things.
Mm-hmm.
It is about accessing what's always there within us, within you. It is a matter of not questioning if. It's a matter of accessing what's been present this whole time, but because of the valid constellation of challenges, the things that happen in our life experiences, we learn how to wade through those waters safely and access the strength that's already inside you. That is the message more than anything else that I want to express.
Aww, that's nice. That was like a hug for your brain. That was really great. Well, thank you so much for watching. And if you would love to connect with Sam, or because I know you're gonna fill up fast, you just are. So like, call now by the way. If you want to connect with Sam or somebody that Sam is supervising and imparting this knowledge and experience to, give us a call, 603-659-0202. Again, 603-659-0202. And we're really close to UNH. We're in Stratford County, right off the Lee traffic circle, 2 minutes off the Lee traffic circle. Or you can email us at info@nhccbt.com. Don't forget the double C in the middle. And somebody will get right back to you, and we'll look forward to connecting you with Sam or with some of our other amazing people. So thank you again for watching, and until next time.
Take care.